Welcome to the Monday Monologue. Well, had some exciting stuff going on this week for me. Did my DAC review earlier, and I've been playing around with that whole setup. And I finally have, I'm calling it my in-game DAC. And I know, for some people that means, you're never going to change it again. And that's not what it means for me. For me, it means I finally found something I like. And I've bought like this E70 and an E30 and a little Dragonfly Red and a couple of other DACs along the way people have sent over for me to listen to. And none of them really touched my heart, I guess I should say. They never felt like something that I wanted to just leave into my system. And I haven't. This guy's been sitting on the shelf. This has been sitting on the shelf. All I heard was, oh yeah, these are great. And when I listened to them, it just didn't do anything for me. And finally, this Centaurus DAC, something I feel like that I'm going to leave in my system for a while, and then I'm going to actually use. So, anyway, that's exciting news. I did get it sounding really good with my CD DAC, but streaming out of this Blue Sound node, just left me wanting. And so we're going to be trying some different things. I was never really a big fan about searching for music on my phone. I guess older eyes, trying to look at that little screen, typing in on the virtual keyboard and all that stuff just never felt natural to me or easy. And searching on a computer screen with a keyboard is so much easier for me. And I've got a couple of spare laptops. So I want to try to figure out how to get good sound off of my laptop. And in that vein, I'm going to try a Singzer. I think it's a CU6. Anyway, it's one of those digital converters that you put USB in. You can pull a plethora of ports out. I'm probably going to use the I2S and hook it up to this new DAC I've got. And hopefully I can get that to work in my favor. So that's a future thing that I'm excited about, to kind of dip my toes into that realm. And I finally feel like there's a product that I enjoy the sound of. The other really fun thing happened today. First visit to an audio club. There's the Atlanta Audio Club. It's probably been around for eons. But somebody told me about it, where they were meeting, so I went over this afternoon, and I had a blast. We were over there for about 3 hours. We did a little intro. The guy that was leading the meeting told us about his Studer reel-to-reel deck that he had restored, gave the group a little history on reel-to-reel and half-track tapes and how all that stuff works. And he had some of those new, re-recorded or new released half-track tapes that they're producing now. And yes, they're expensive. They're $450 to $600 for a pair of tapes. But when you consider that just the blank tapes are $200 and that it's done in one-to-one time, and they've got to maintain the decks that they're recording these things on and keep them clean and demagnetized, and it's a lot of work. It's really not that ridiculous. And guys, if you've never heard that, it was mind-blowingly good. And it's gotten me excited about getting my Tascam 32 half-track deck going. And I may break down and buy some of those tapes once I get that deck working well. We played some jazz, some Allman Brothers. What really sounded crazy good was the classical orchestra kind of music. Just the dynamic range and just the separation of the instruments and just how just dynamic it sounded was unbelievable. And between a couple of tapes, somebody wanted to play for the group this SACD they had, so they, click some buttons, and it's like a PS Audio, decks and stuff that they've got. So it's not junk equipment. When they put in the Super CD, God, it's like listening to music through a string in a tin can. I mean, I hate to say that, and sorry for the guy if you're watching this. Yeah, just everybody in the room just kind of went, whoa, what the? It was just night and day. So, anyway, that was a very interesting experience. And if you've never been to an audio club, there's probably one local near you. You should go check them out. If you live in the Atlanta area, come to the next meeting. They're going to be at Oak Grove Methodist Church. I'll put the link to their website below. Super nice bunch of guys. They were all very friendly. They were happy to see new guests. And it was a pretty large group of people. I mean, I was kind of expecting a handful of people there. And there was probably at least 20 people in the room. And they were all talking about their audio gear and different things they're doing. And it was a fun time. So if you've never been to anything like that, go check it out. That's a cool part of this hobby that I've never experienced. That said, another thing that I've never experienced is I've never gone to an audio show. And so I'm going down to the show next week in Tampa. My boyfriend lives near there, so he lives in Orlando, so it's like an hour drive, so I don't have to get a hotel room and stuff, and you can visit him while I'm down there. So we'll have, be a fun time. So I'm going to be down there for all 3 days. I'm going to drive down Thursday and then be there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I'm excited to just see what a show like this is like. And I know Expona is like the big one up in Chicago. And right now I can't really financially swing that. Plus it's pretty late notice. And yeah, all of that. And I just want to kind of see what this is like. And people are saying that show in Tampa is getting bigger every year. And last year, a friend of mine went, said it was, pretty impressive. So I'm excited to go down there and see what that's all about and see some of these, super high-end stuff. Meet the Shelley folks. They're probably going to be there, etc. So, yeah, it'll be fun to meet some folks. And if you're planning on going, look me up. I'll be down there. Like I said, just wandering around, looking at stuff and talking to people, hopefully making some connections. So that's an exciting thing. And again, I feel like that while I can't really test this digital stuff, and I honestly don't think what I'm hearing is the kind of stuff you can measure. And I know we've been down this before where people are like, if you can't measure it, you can't hear it. And it's snake oil and all that stuff. And just like the speaker cables that I was telling you about, I'm starting to understand that there is something to some of this stuff. And the more revealing my system gets, the more I hear this stuff. And since I got those Quad S2 speakers, now I'm hearing stuff that I didn't used to hear. And so I'm hoping that I can get, like I said, my laptop combo with this reclocker and then this new DAC where I can get maybe not like reel-to-reel tape quality sound and maybe not even like the enjoyment I'd get from my vinyl, but that it's something that I can listen to and enjoy. And I can already tell the CD deck is there. So, wish me luck on this journey. I think it's going to be a kind of a wild ride. From people in the comments on my last video, they were like, this is dizzying confusion. And that's what it feels like to me. And got 5 people saying one thing, 5 other people saying the exact opposite. Go buy this, go buy that. And I've kind of gone down that whole looking for this, listening to people's recommendations on some of this stuff. So I'm trying to be careful about buying stuff that probably is just going to sound the same. And that's what I found with this E70 versus my E30 versus the DAC in this thing. yeah, there's probably a little, I mean, if I really wanted to get into the nuance, there might be a little difference there. But to my ears, none of these sound like organic and pleasurable. And that's one of the things that I harp on over and over again is I feel like the source is one of the most important things in audio. And obviously the speakers are important. And then there's the amp, the other little stuff in between. But the source, if it's not good, it's not going to sound good. And that really struck home today, listening the difference between that Studer reel-to-reel deck with those super high quality tapes, and then listening to that CD on the same system, and the stark contrast between the two. And the only thing that changed was the source. So anyway, really don't have a whole lot else going on. I'm building a EL34 amp here, one of my standard ones, trying to get a couple of these guys done before the season starts. Last year, the sales kind of picked up in the middle of the spring, and I'm kind of hoping the same will happen this year. But you know what? This is a hobby. I'm not in this to try to make a bunch of money. So hopefully some people show some interest in this stuff going forward. But if they don't, I'll just end up doing something else. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about it. So anyway, I do have a couple of photo stages. They're boxed up, ready to go. If anybody's interested in one of those, hit me up. Probably going to be doing a yard sale here soon. I've got a bunch of stuff that I've just collected. Some of it was stuff that was gifted to the channel, stuff that was sent for me to demo that I'm not going to end up using, and offered to send it back, and they don't want it. So yeah, we'll put some of that stuff up for sale, let y'all get some good deals on some of these little chip amps. And I think I got a pair of those A07 monos and some other stuff. So look for that soon. And yeah, score a deal. Oh, one of the things I was going to share too, I've harped on these tube amps being safety grounded and having a 3-wire cord. Explained the reasons for all that in the past, but that's only good if your wall outlets are wired correctly. So before you listen to your music next time, or at least go to Amazon right now and order one of these things. It's a little sperry outlet checker. Plug it in the wall. If the bulbs light up like it says on the top, then the outlet's wired correctly and you're good to go. It's less than $10, and then I'm safe. If it doesn't light up right, you either need to fix it yourself and read online how to wire up your outlet, or call an electrician to come out and fix the wiring to make sure that the outlet actually has a ground and that it's wired up correctly. And I'll put a link below, and I'll put a regular link and an affiliate link. If you want to help out the channel, use my affiliate link and buy one of these things. But get one of these things. And then the other thing I highly recommend is get one of these little boxes. These are these GFCI ground fault interrupter boxes that plug into an outlet. And what's special about this one is it's a manual reset, so that if the power goes out, this thing trips. And it also will trip if there's a ground fault. But what this is really important for, if you've got an amp that's got a tube rectifier and you've got an area that's susceptible to, I call them the on-off syndrome, where the power goes on, off, on, off, on, off, off, and then, while it's doing that thing, it's blowing up your rectifier tube. This deal, if that kind of thing happens, it just shuts off, and the power won't come back on until you hit reset. And these are really good to use with a tube amp. Plus, if there is a ground fault, or if there's some kind of fault to ground through you, within a millisecond or so, it shuts the power off, so you don't get electrocuted and you're standing there just going brrr, and you can't let go of something, and you end up making your heart stop. So one of these is a really great thing to have if you don't have GFI outlets, and even if you do, this one is the manual reset kind, and then get one of these things to make sure your outlet's actually grounded. So that's Skunky safety tips. And for the music for the week, I'm going to recommend one of the tapes we listened to, and I haven't looked yet, but it's more than likely also available on vinyl, and I'm sure you can stream it. It's called Witch's Brew, and this is what the cover looks like. And no, it's not Bitch's Brew. It's not the Miles Davis version. This is a more orchestral kind of mix that's also just happy music. And it was, yeah, we were listening to it on a crazily good mastered tape. So that may have had something to do with why it sounded so good. I haven't got the vinyl yet. I'm going to order it. And maybe I'll report back next week. But yeah, that's my music for this week. And I did buy some more of those mono records to use with my mono cartridge, and I'm enjoying that. And I'll share those with you next week. So anyway, to kind of wrap things up for this week, go check out your local audio club. I really had a fun time today. And like I said, if you're in the Atlanta area, start coming to the Atlanta Audio Club's meetings. They have a fun group of guys. I'm going to be there. You can, talk to me. Nothing else, right? And you'll know somebody there. So, yeah, I'll put the link below. Check out their website, and I'm sure your local area has an audio club too. They're going to be doing a show and tell thing sometime this summer where you can bring your own amp or your favorite piece of gear and hook it up and let everybody listen to it and do that kind of stuff. I think that's going to be fun. Maybe talk them into doing like a speaker shootout, maybe, where people bring like their favorite bookshelf speakers and we can all listen to the different ones and see what they sound like. And there's stuff like that the clubs can do that you just can't do on your own. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. Thanks to all you Patreon supporters and other folks that give support to the channel. I really appreciate all you folks that are subscribing. We're approaching 18K subs, which will be another milestone to hit. We should be able to hit 20K by the summer, that's a nice round, even number. So, yeah, this has been really fun. And diving into this digital stuff, I think is going to be a little different theme for this channel. We've obviously got other tube projects I need to be working on. But, hey, all in good time, right? So, we'll see you next week for the Monday Monologue.